watched your show Thirst and I really enjoyed it. I feel like it's perfectly you, following you for so many years. You have your own alcohol brand, you love to travel. How did this show come to be?
Literally from all my past experience and things that I've done from my shaycations that I used to do while on hiatus of, shows I was on. I've always loved traveling and I've always felt very fortunate to be able to go to these places. So, I wanted to bring people along with me as much as I could. And so filming it and putting it out there for people to see was my way of doing that. And, I don't know, I've always had a curiosity for exploring new cultures, the history, the human connections that I have abroad. And this was just a way of doing it through the lens of drinks specific to each locations.
Yeah, I mean, it really did remind me of your staycation vlogs from back in the day. And you brought a reality to traveling, which was, I really appreciated because so much on like Instagram, we see like the perfect pictures and stuff. It's very curated. But the show, you broke the fourth wall a lot. We saw like you getting sick, your trip getting kind of, you had to pivot because you had a big storm in Colombia. I'm curious, like, what surprised you the most while filming?
I think the most unexpected thing was that I would get sick, like Murphy's Law, leave it to me, like not ever really getting sick in the past whenever I've been on a trip or shooting, but on this for it to be the first location. And, that was obviously made things a little bit difficult, but the show must go on. And especially when you're shooting a travel show, because you have flights booked, there's such strict timing with when you were taking off, like there is no room to kind of move things around. It's different from being on a set to shooting, a scripted show. And I think that's also the part that I really wanted to show was that, there is the reality of getting sick sometimes when you travel. There is the reality of plans changing when you're on the road, whether it's like flights being missed or like, I don't know, what have you. The unexpected is kind of also what makes traveling fun. And I wanted to showcase that with this.
Obviously, getting sick is not ideal in any situation, especially when you're working. What got you through it? And do you have any tips that you learned from being sick for like if you ever get sick again or to share? Because I've gotten sick so many times on the road, it's the worst.
I would say bringing the appropriate medicine, which I thought we had, but it wasn't medicine. It was just a lot of vitamins, which didn't help out when I was at that level. I was way past the needing of vitamins at that stage. But coming prepared, I think a little bit more. Again, I wasn't preparing to be as sick as I was, so I didn't have what I needed necessarily. And then when you're going into a drugstore where you don't speak that language, it could make for a challenge. But honestly, I would say the crew that we had and my co-producer definitely made it possible. And I think also just the passion that I had for wanting to do this show for such a long time. We pitched this show at the early stages of the pandemic. And, then I got pregnant and then I had Rome. And then it's like there's never really been like the right time, but it was at that time and we made it happen. So
The show must go on,
the
quite
show
literally.
must go on, truthfully.
Well, you mentioned this earlier, how you met amazing people along the way, and it's no secret that you love to travel. And this show was really rooted in like showing people different cultures, specifically South America. I feel like most shows take place in Europe. Why South America? Why was that where you wanted to go for this show?
There was a friend of mine who's a Brazilian chef, and we were having dinner one time and we were having these incredible drinks with cachaça, which is a spirit that's very well known in Brazil. And just sort of hearing how it was made, the history of it, all of that, I was like, you know what? I've been to Brazil. I absolutely love it. I love everything about it. I've been to Rio, I've been to Sao Paulo. I'd never been to Florianopolis. He was telling us a little bit about that. And we sort of let the drinks lead us to these different locations. So it started with us knowing we wanted to go to Brazil. And then after that, I was like, well, wine in Argentina, of course, but like, why is it so good? What else do they have there? And then we went to Argentina. That was phenomenal. And then it was like, okay, well, we're here, like Machu Picchu, of course, like Peru, Pisco sours, like let's go there and try that. And then I honestly feel like it just kind of the drinks led us to all of these places. And Colombia had always been on my list of places to go, of course, for their coffee, but like they also have other incredible drinks and ingredients there too. So yeah.
The Colombia episode was one of my favorite episodes because
Oh, good.
I grew up in El Salvador and they have really good coffee too. And I grew up on a coffee farm and I launched a coffee business. So I was like, yay, Shay. Like it was cool that you showed
I
the
love
whole
it.
culture of Colombia. Um, Speaking of the people that you met along the way, how does traveling and seeing people from like different parts of life change your perspective on your life and your approach to motherhood?
I mean, I think just traveling in general and getting to meet people, I would say arguably, more connections are made sharing a toast than breaking bread. It's a lot more casual for us to be like, hey, let's meet and have, a coffee or a drink or whatever it is. And I think such special interactions are made over a beverage. And I love that. And I think just rediscovering that we're all a lot more alike than we think, no matter where we are in the world. And I love that. People all around the world love to have a drink, share a meal with loved ones. And that's really what I just see time and time again and was fortunate to be able to do in these different places.
Yeah, it's humbling and it's eye-opening.
Yeah.
Do your daughters like to travel? I mean, they're little. Rome is a
They
baby.
are, yes. Rome is, she actually two now today. She definitely, I think they both love to travel. Listen, with names like Atlas and Rome, you kind of like have to love traveling. I think it's like ingrained in them. But I think so far on all of the trips that we've had, they absolutely love it. Atlas is a very good traveler on a plane. Rome thinks it's like WWF, so she is an interesting one to fly with, but they love it when we get to the location. And I feel, fortunate to be able to bring them on some of my trips.
It's true. Like the name really influences the person. And if you have a name like Roman Atlas, like I hope you have your passport every single year.
Exactly. Exactly.
One thing I really liked about this show is your outfit changes. Like you literally would just do one like in the middle of the road in the car. So that got me thinking, like you're a traveling pro. Is there certain outfits or certain like articles of clothing that you have to bring every vacation because they're just so easy to like switch around?
I would say no matter where I'm going, I always have like a light jacket with me, even if it's a hot place. You never know what it could be like at night. I think I even learned a lot from this trip. We thought certain places were going to be a little bit warmer, which is why I ended up having to get some clothes when we were in Argentina because I had gone through a lot of the outfits. And, I'm a big proponent of overpacking and I'm not ashamed of it. I think always bring with what you need. So I'm never going to be somebody that's a carry-on girl, and I'm okay with that. But I think there are some essentials. I would definitely say like always having like a comfortable outfit, whether that be sweats or something. I love, and I only really travel in loose clothing and with a lot of layers. So I would say layers, layers, layers. That's like my number one tip for traveling.
You tried a lot of drinks, alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages. How many drinks do you think you had on average a day?
I mean, even today I've had about 6 drinks from a smoothie to coffee to like my water to celery juice. Like I genuinely, even when I'm not traveling and shooting this, I always have so many beverages. I love drinks and I love staying hydrated. But I would say while shooting this, probably definitely like 8 to 10.
You
Yeah.
know,
And listen, like I think that's the cool thing about this show too. It's not just it's called Thirst, but it's like thirst on all levels. It's not just alcoholic drinks. We had incredible teas when we were in Peru. The coca tea was one of my favorite drinks that I had. And I brought a bunch back with me. But yeah, I would just say even on a regular day, I'm constantly having about 3 to 4 beverages on me at all times.
yeah. Did you have a favorite from the trip? Your favorite
No,
drink?
I couldn't pick a favorite. There are definitely drinks that stand out in each location, but there were so, I mean, the potato wine was something that was just so interesting and I never thought I would try or was even possible. So that's definitely one that sticks out. But in every location, there was a drink that I was like, oh, wow.
The potato wine looked so cool. And how you
Well,
like pick the potatoes, it was really, really cool.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's definitely one that stands out.
So I want to, because it's the show is called Thirst, and you've been on so many amazing television shows, I thought it'd be cool if you paired up one of the drinks you had on Thirst with some of your most iconic characters. So what would Emily's go-to drink be? Peach, Stella, and Vanessa.
Oh my gosh. Emily's would maybe be let's say Emily's would be a pisco sour. I don't know why. I just feel like it was like a sweet drink. I loved it. I think she'd like it. I would say Stella would what would Stella be? Stella would probably be the fiery drink at the tiki bar that we had. I would say Peach would be What would peach tea be? Cachaça, like in a shot form, like a very strong shot of cachaça.
So you've also been on so many shows, like I just mentioned. Would you ever want to go back to one? I mean, I know you got killed off on You, so that would be kind of hard to
Gonna
revisit.
be
But
a twin sister,
yeah, I
twin
mean,
sister that comes back. I don't know. I've pitched that. They're on how many seasons now? I don't know if that's happening, but I honestly think I have such fond memories of every show that I've been a part of. I'm really grateful looking back because all of these shows, from the cast to the crew to like the actual scripts themselves, have all been really great. And I've had such wonderful memories from all of them. So truthfully, any of the shows that I've been on, I would go back to.
yeah, we'll have to get a plot twist for some of them, but we'd
Well,
love to see you
yeah,
back. You've also had great co-stars, which you mentioned, Brenda Song, Troy Balsario, and now Ashley Benson, who just became a girl mom. Have you met her baby? Have you talked to her about being mom to a girl?
we have a group chat, so I've definitely seen a lot of photos. Unfortunately, because of our schedules, we haven't been able to meet up in person yet, but we have plans to make that happen. So sooner than later. But she's an incredible mom, as we all knew she would be. And it's just awesome to see her as a mom now. It's crazy. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
You guys have been through so much throughout the years, and it's cute that you, Ashley, and Troyan all have girls.
Yes,
So,
right?
so play dates hopefully in the future.
Exactly. Lots of play dates.
Schedule the line. So before we
Yes.
wrap up, I wanted to play a quick little travel
Yeah.
if rapid fire game, super quick responses.
Do it.
So first one, what are your traveling do's and don'ts?
Traveling dues, I would say overpacking. Overpack do. Match up with the time zone of where it is you're going as quickly as possible. I always try that. And I would say hydration, hydration, hydration when you're traveling, super key. I would say travel don'ts, be hungover on a flight. Just don't. It's the worst thing. Uh not giving yourself enough time, rushing when traveling, also not enjoyable. And just being well prepared, organized.
Yeah, we love organization.
Yeah.
Surprise hack, traveling hack you've learned throughout the years.
How much easier base has made my life in terms of packing and traveling, truthfully, though, especially on a show like this where I'm grabbing outfits, putting them back. I had 5 suitcases on this trip. I was very proud of the products that we have because of actually using them in this capacity. So,
Yeah, I'm a base girly too. I have like 4 of your bags, so I attest to that. Is there a base product that is like your must, like you take with you everywhere? I must be hard to choose, but
it's so hard to choose. I would say, oh, I mean, I always have the cosmetic bag with me because I love the travel mirror and I'm always doing my makeup on the go as I was on this show. I would say are any of our carry-ons just because I love the handle. There's nothing more comfortable. I also like knowing how much it weighs before I get to the counter. But then the weekender and all of our work totes. I mean, I could go on. I can't really choose one because I use them all for different reasons and there's something for everybody and for every occasion.
what destination has surprised you the most that you've been on?
Colombia, I would say I have always wanted to go there, but I wasn't as familiar with the food that they had, and I was blown away. I don't think I've like stopped talking about it since I've been. I tell everybody to go because I don't know what I was expecting, but it just blew my mind in every which way, and that's a place I can't wait to go back.
Love that. Favorite place to go to relax?
My bed.
That's a good one. Favorite place to go when you're trying to have like a good time, go out and like stay out all night.
Oh gosh, favorite place? I don't know. It's honestly usually at a dinner. A dinner that then turns just yeah, I would say dinners now are kind of my like past clubs.
Yeah.
I love a dinner and I can still turn up at a dinner. So, yeah.
Very true, very true. And last question, a lot now it's summertime. A lot of people are going traveling for the first time with family members or their partners, and they say traveling with someone is the best way to get to know them. What's a tip you have for someone that's going on a trip with their significant other for the first time?
Um, that's a tough one because it really does. I would say finding your own space. Even
Mm.
though it's exciting to go with somebody, I think we all need a little bit of alone time every once in a while. So just finding your moments of when you can have a little bit of space to digest the place that you're at, to enjoy it on your own for a little, even if it's just a walk. I think it's very important to have that time with yourself, even when you're on a trip with somebody else.